Well, good day, YouTube, and welcome to another episode of the Albino Rhino, I guess, beer chat? I don't know. It's not a review. It's not going to be a review. This is a beer that Dale brought to me. It's from Base Camp Brewing. It was brewed in Almont. This brewery does not exist at the moment. And I guess we're going to talk more about camaraderie than anything else. So, Base Camp Brewing Company, Wild Harvest Saison, and it's a Saison at 5.5% alcohol by volume. So, this is a brewery that was a man and his wife doing a lot of the manual labor and sales and stuff, and him being the brains and the brewer and everything else. It opened up in 2022, and 7 months later, at the age of, I believe it was 35, the owner and brewer suddenly passed. By suddenly passed, you may be able to figure out how he passed. We're not gonna talk about that because it doesn't matter. He passed. The camaraderie in this is a whole bunch of people from homebrew groups that he had been a part of had jumped together to help package whatever was left, help sell it. A lot of them bought it. Dale buying a whole bunch. As well as helping find people to buy some of the equipment. I guess all that's left really is some of the equipment. His wife was hoping that somebody would buy the business and keep the recipes because so many people really liked the beer he made. And the camaraderie in that, just the fact that a whole group of people came together to help a grieving mother and her 3 children deal with the sudden loss of their husband, business partner, father. It's something that you don't hear about as much in the beer industry now as you used to. So, we're looking at Wild Harvest. The only rating I'm going to give this is going to be on Untapped, and I might not even do it. I'm going to tap it in, but I might not even rate it. I'll give him first and foremost that he would have scored points with me just because of the fact that it was under 7%. So many Saisons were coming in at 6.5, 7, 8, 9. To see a 5.5, still a little higher than I would have personally liked, but it makes me very happy to see. Dale and all of his other mobsters were great guys. I've been trying to get to have a pint with one of them for years now, and it's just never worked out. And that would be Middlefra, and it's unfortunate that it's never worked out because I think it would be great because we've talked for so many years, but it's just never worked out. Small world. I didn't know that him and Dale knew each other, but to sit back and to jump into things to help out a family once this has happened is amazing. So many people came to buy stuff and share stuff at the tap room after the loss. That it was amazing. I've read a few different news articles on it. I've shed some tears reading news articles. I actually didn't know what to do with this beer when he gave it to me because he told me about the history of the brewery and what happened, and I was really, really, really saddened. So let's look at things first, right? Most of the beers are named after mountaineering type of things. The logo and all that, mountaineering type of things. I really like the can art. I do. I will give it that. I really like the can art. This has an this does show you your SRM and your IBUs. Your IBU of 30. So he wasn't doing bad. His SRM is 5. Again, it wasn't doing bad. 5.5% alcohol. Again, for me personally, I'd want a little bit lower, but for me, that is also a Block 3. When Block 3 did their King Street Saison, I gave them points for being at like 5.4. So I would have given him the same points. Let's see if we can. Saison is a traditional farmhouse ale from the French-speaking... I can't even read that because I'm blind. region of Belgium, Wallonia. It was brewed in the winter and kept until the summer as a refreshing thirst quencher for the farmhands, featuring hints of fruit and spice. Which, as most of you know that have any knowledge about beer or have watched any beer reviewer that has talked any history, that is exactly what it should have been. And I mean, it was always a low alcohol percentage beer because it was for the farmhands. You didn't want the farmhands getting drunk, especially after a day out in the field. Sometimes they were thirst quenching in the field. You don't want a guy with a scythe getting drunk on like an 8% alcohol beer. So I fucking hate that so many people are brewing 8 and 9 and 10% alcohol saisons. I want to see the days of the 2, 3, 4% alcohol beers becoming normal again. But I don't think it ever will, especially in the craft world, because the craft world wants more and more and more, and it's harder and harder to hide any imperfections in a lower ABV beer. Now, again, Dale gave this to me. He told me about the passing. He told me about him and everybody else getting together, helping package, helping sell. And I really, genuinely applaud them for that. There's not enough people that do that. There's a lot of people that end up losing their shirt in the brewing industry. And there's a lot of people that start up a brewery not realizing how much I don't know what caused him to suddenly die, to suddenly pass. I don't know. But there's a lot of people that get worked into the costs, worked into the expense, the stress, the everything else. And to see everybody jump to try and help this family get rid of some of the stuff, to help compensate them and help set them up, and to share stories about the brewer, and to share stories that they had with him, and to let Rebecca have time to talk her story and, see how many people were actually touched by what he did, especially in a small town like Almont. And that's the other thing, right? It happened in a small town. And I'm personally from a small town. There's a lot of people that I know that are. Me and Alicia grew up in the Arnprior area. When you take that small town vibe into consideration as well, there's a lot of love and passion in a lot of these towns as well. I don't know if Arnprior would still have it. We went to Arnprior recently, and it was not the same as when we left. But all that being said, to hear this story about a person from Almont, and I was in Almont a lot. I played football against the Almont Orangemen. He was only 6 years younger than me. And to think that I have almost suddenly passed several times in my life, I feel for the family. I do. It's a solid beer. And it's not a style that a lot of people do really well. And it tastes more like what a traditional would taste like. Which means it's not perfect. And that's what you kind of want out of a saison. I think I'm just touched by how many people got together to deal with this. And the fact that he held one of these, and the fact that he actually thought enough to bring me one, thinking, hey, Chad might actually really enjoy this. And I thank you, Dale, for that. I thank you for supporting his family. I thank you for being the great, upstanding man you are. And I thank everybody else that helped his family. Hopefully, she did say in one of her news articles, she hopes somebody would buy everything and continue. And I don't know if that'll happen, but hopefully it does. Hopefully somebody goes out and buys it all and just continues, so that people can continue to enjoy his recipes. Don't even tweak those recipes. Make your own after that, but use his for that stuff. I mean, this is my one and only offering from him, and it's a solid beer. Thank you, guys. I don't know what else to say. I'm just touched to be able to try this, and I'm saddened, and I'm hurt, and I'm enlightened, and I'm excited, and yeah, bye.